what a little well house does in this state, and then we're going to go look at a little wastewater plant that there's only two in this state, and there's one here in this town. Over here there's one of the wells right there in that cage. So let's go in and take a look. And here's the other well right here, and it would flow this way, open its check valve and go through, past here and out. Actually, it stops there, goes through the meter and then out. Here's the second well, I'm sorry. This one comes in here, goes this way and past the meter. So then over here we have the fluoride. And that's the raw fluoride at 23%, and in this barrel it's mixed with water and it's broke down, and we're required to have a day tank that is separate from this tank, so that if this pump were to stick on, then you could only pump this little gallon here and no more. Then over here in this pump, which is a peristaltic pump, this is the chlorine that's added to the water. And because this is chlorine, we don't have to have that 1 gallon separation, because chlorine added to the water doesn't make your teeth fall out. You add too much fluoride and everybody in your town is gumming it, okay? I'm gonna do some writing down here. And then we'll head on over to the wastewater. So now we're going past the water tower, and the tower is used as storage for, let's say, fire flow, and the volume of water in your water tower and the height of your tower provides the pressure, because that water is up there is 115 feet in this community, and it's up there, and that each pound or each foot of water height is equal to 2.31 pounds of pressure. So we keep... Hey, good morning everybody. We're back in our little town of Palisade, and we're going to do some lab samples for the water plant. So I thought I'd take you along, and this is very simple testing that we're required to do in this community because of its population and its flow. We only have to do these tests once a week, and we're going to use this DR850 color meter, and it's a Hawk product, and Hawk is a very big producer of lab equipment for water and sewer and everybody else industries that use them. These are very simple to operate. So we're going to turn this little bad boy on right now. And we're going to do, and it's set, right now it's set to, let me turn this around so I can see too. And this one's set to test for fluoride. So we're going to do the fluoride sample, and it's program number 28. So we're going to do a fluoride sample, and I went out and I collected a sample of water from the tower. And a fluoride sample is an AccuVac. So I already have a blank. So I've got this in here, and I'm going to tell it to zero it. And there it's zeroed. So now I'm going to put this one back. And an AccuVac uses this vacuum sealed ampule. And this red color has a reagent in it. And I'm going to break this reagent in this water sample. And I'm going to fill this up. And it'll give me the prescribed amount. And now I'm going to set the timer to 1 minute. And that's the reaction time. Right now I'm cleaning the ampule's glass off of. This is using this is a light meter, and it's going to shine light through the ampule, and it reads the change. And let's call it, it reads the darkness between that ampule and this ampule. This ampule is 0, so we fill this one up with a known 0, like a distilled water. And we know that distilled water doesn't have any fluoride in it. So we're waiting the next 2 seconds here. And the timer's off. So now we can hit read. And we have, according to this, we have 2.3 the water hydrant. So now we're going to go to chlorine free, and that's program 9, enter. And in the Hawk system, they have the instructions and easy to follow. I mean, this is simple stuff and simple instructions to follow. So what we do here is we take, I need free chlorine powder pillow. All right, now I need my 2 vials. Here are my 2 vials, and I'm going to be using the 10 mil line. So now I need 10 mils of sample, and this is going to be our blank. And so the spectrophotometer sees what's in this sample as a blank, and so let's say a blank or a clear, but it's gonna, and I put the diamond forward towards me always, and that way I put the glass in the same way every time. So now I'm going to hit 0 on this. I need another sample of 10 mil of the same water. There we go. And now into this 10 mil, I'm flicking this. I'm stirring or loosening up the powder. I've done this for 20 to 30 years, where I flick those and get the powder down to the bottom so I can tear them open. Because I have tore these open where the powder's on top. So now I've put the free residual chlorine ampule in there. And we're going to shake it up, swirl the mix. The timer goes on for 3 minutes. And as an operator, I'm looking, you get used in your tower, you get used to how red this is right away, but it's a 3-minute time. So we'll take out our blank because we're going to use it again. And I'll bring you back at the end of the 3-minute cycle. Okay, I brought you back now. We're getting to the end of our countdown, our 3-minute time on a chlorine free sample. And the free sample is in the light shield. And I'm getting ready to put it in. There we are. Oh, there we go. We're at 0. So now we're going to hit read. 0.05. So the chlorine is low. I would personally raise this up. I would turn the chlorine up and the fluoride down. Okay, so the wastewater from the whole town comes in through here, this hatch. And in the here, the only thing is a bypass valve and a mag meter. And a mag meter is a magnetic meter that either goes around the pipe on the outside or inside, and it senses the flow going past through a magnetic field. So in this facility, this tank here is an influent septic tank. There's 40 lift stations in this community, and they all pump to here. They're all grinder stations, and I was going to walk over here and see if I could pick one up for you real quick. There in the trees over here, there is a little gray box and that is a grinder station. This is the second septic tank here, so it flows through the first, flows through here into the second. Actually, this is the end of the first here. There are 3 covers tall. Second, then it turns and comes through here, and this is an EQ basin or an equalization basin. And in here, if we have a rush of water, so let's say we generate 42,000 gallons a day in this facility is what we're designed, or what we can treat. Well, we flow equalize to 30. And actually in this town, it is a 33,000 gallon a day treatment plant design, wet weather, and we flow equalize to 9 because that's about what it is. Now these tanks and the tanks that I just showed you were left over, and there used to be a gravel filter on top of this mound, which it still is a gravel filter, we just don't use it. Now we've changed. So the flow equalization tank is here, and we keep about 2 to 3 feet in there on normal, and then the 2 lift pumps that pump it to the treatment plant are right here, are right in here. Now this is a mag meter. This is where we can read the meter reading. Can you see it? Let's look. So it is right now there's 4 gallons a minute coming in. 7124867. 7124867. And there used to be the, right here, this used to be the controller that you could read the daily flows, but it's long since broke, and it never actually worked from brand new because it doesn't work less than 20 degrees out. Yeah, 20 degrees. So down here is the floats and the EQ basin, and below on these 2 rails are the pumps. And there's your raw wastewater. Looks like dirty dishwater. Now the new facility, or it's not new anymore, but in 07, when this facility was built, 2007, these are underground trickling filters, for a lack of a more fancier term. And it's train A and train B. And this round cover over here is a splitter box that splits the flow between these 2. And I did say it was a trickling filter, so that's exactly what's happening. These pumps cycle on and off on a predetermined level because of the flow rate, at the flow rate. And so now this gray matter that you see on top of those little round things, the little round things are plastic media. The media provides a place for the bacteria to adhere to. And as the water trickles past the bacteria can grab on to the organic matter, and they eat it. Basically, for a better, lack of a better word. They can ingest it, let's call it. Then this water goes down through this tank, and it's a straight wall tank for the first 12 feet, and it's full of the media, and then at the bottom is a clarifier, and then at the bottom of the clarifier is where the sludge goes. And then we have two other pumps in here. That tank, that little hole on the right, that's the sludge pumps, and the sludge pumps return the wastewater back to the head end of the treatment plant, and it recycles through. So this is a, let's call this a high rate filter, because this filter gets the raw wastewater, and this is the B train, which gets it after the high rate. And you can see there's smaller media, and here comes the pump just turned on, and that could be a recycled there. Nope, we're gonna get sprayed. We got lucky, and hopefully the spray pattern so now you see a different color in the media. These here need to be cleaned with a brush, apparently. I'll have to tell the operator. And now you can look down that hole, and you can see the pumps down there that are bringing the wastewater up and running it over the media. The media is smaller because there isn't as much bacteria for this to eat. There's not enough food to have them running all the time. Because they're below ground, you don't have to keep them running continuously because they're not in the freeze zone, or they're below the freeze. And if you had a trickling filter in this state, you would have to have recycling going on to keep the filter running so it doesn't freeze up, if you have a rotating trickling filter. In this tank over here now, after the water goes through treatment, we bring it to this tank, and there's a UV system, and you can see the bulbs are up out of the tank, and that's our effluent.
Thank you for coming with me this morning. We began our day in the early light of a frosty morning. This is a longer video as we looked at a small town water and wastewater system. This community is looking into a huge renovation of its systems. We hope to be with them as they go through this process. We will bring you along if it happens. See you on the next poo emergency. Head turd rolling downhill.